Welcome to Barnett Stadium in Middletown, Ohio, as we are live here in the OHSAA Regional Semifinals as the Moeller Crusaders are taking on the Mason Comets. It's been an action-packed year full here in Mason, Ohio, with all kinds of sports, 3 state championships. One of the biggest surprises, the Mason Comets making it the farthest they have in school history. I'm Adam Little, joined alongside my partner for tonight's broadcast, Andrew Little. And Andrew, what are you excited for?
Yeah, and I'll try to keep this brief as we're about to kick off, but both teams riding off a lot of momentum. Moeller, big win last week against their rivals, St. X. The Comets, 2-touchdown comeback in the fourth quarter versus Springboro. Should be a great one.
And that kickoff going to be returned by the Comets as they will start possession at the Moeller 20-yard line. And Andrew, what do the Comets need to do, to get something going here against this all-star Moeller secondary?
Yeah, Moeller has a lot of talent on their defense, particularly in that secondary. Carson Hobbs is going to be the name that sticks out. He committed to Notre Dame this week, flipping from South Carolina, but he actually is kind of used in a rotational role. That's how much depth they have. So the Comets, who had a great passing attack last week, are going to have to find other ways to pick on the defense.
Double set here for the Comets. Larson Brown's in the shotgun. The running back is Tay Hibbett. And a flag will be thrown before the first snap. Comets are clapping, and that's going to be an offsides from Moeller, so a nice start for Mason.
Yeah, and you'd love to see that if you're the Comets, be the more disciplined team. That's how they've won several games, particularly the Princeton game. So just a good start there, maybe getting in the heads of the Crusaders.
1st and 5 now. That same double set for the Comets. Brown's in the shotgun. Tay Hibbett right behind him. Brown's going to drop back on the first play of the game for a pass. Feeling a lot of pressure from the Moeller defensive line, and that one's going to go to Brandon Martin.
And Brandon Martin having a terrific season, 10.5 sacks. He's got offers from Army and UT Martin. He's just one of the many, many guys that's going to be playing at the next level for this team. And right there makes his presence known on play number 1.
First play of the game, not a great start for Mason as Larson Brown is sacked for 7 yards. That's going to push them back to the 18-yard line. Trip set to the right. Now for the Comets, Tay Hibbett is the back. 11:23 on the clock. Man in motion is Quentin Kaler, but it's going to be a handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett dives forward, able to pick up about 3 yards for a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and Hibbett right there didn't have a lot of space, but was able to spin off the Crusader defender to pick up a few extra yards. So now 3rd and a little more manageable, makes up for that sack on the play. But the Comets likely going to have to go back to the air here. And as we saw, the Crusader pass rush their secondary. They're going to make that very difficult for Larson Brown.
One of the notable names in that Moeller secondary, Notre Dame commit Carson Hobbs. He checks in for them. Double set for Mason Brown in the shotgun. 10:44 on the clock. This one, a little bit of a miscommunication there. Brown thought it was a handoff, but Sailors went in for a pass, and Larson Brown's going to be taken down again for a sack with 10:33 on the clock, and it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Comets on their first possession.
And not the start the Comets wanted. One of the things that is the key for both of these teams is winning at the line of scrimmage. Both teams going to want to lean on the run today, and the Moeller pass rush just dominant right there. So
Krukenberg lying back to punt near the goal line. He's going to take this one. Rugby style, kicks it all the way. It's going to hit at the Mason 40. Has some backspin and touchdown by Nick Sailors.
Yeah, and that punt went the wrong way for Krukenberg. It bounced at the 40-yard line backwards. So now Moeller starting with great territory. They're really in a good position, and now we're going to see their star running back, Jordan Marshall, who had 4 touchdowns last week against the St. X Bombers. He's riding high.
Jordan Marshall, you're going to hear his name a lot from us tonight. I mean, single-handedly just carries this Moeller offense, and he's surrounded by a lot of talent, though. Trips formation, it's going to be a bubble screen on the first play of the game. 10:05 on the clock, and just miscommunication there.
Yeah, and miscommunication there from quarterback Luke Dunn and his receiver Tennell Bryant, who, another guy we're going to talk about a lot tonight. His nickname is the Young Cheetah. He's got a lot of speed, and they're going to try to find him in the bubble screens a lot. Right there, the Comets, particularly Nick Sailors and Jake Bates, read that play well, and Dunn just wasn't able to make an accurate pass.
10:04 on the clock in this first quarter. This one going to be a handoff to the star running back Marshall, but Marshall stopped immediately, plowing forward. It's going to be just a 1-yard gain, and who other than to lead the charge than the senior leader on this Mason defense, Jake Bates.
Yeah, Bates and a lot of Comet defenders right there burst through the line, get Marshall right away, but he also showed that this is not going to be an easy task for the Comet as he was able to push forward for about a yard. That's a loss with any other running back, maybe in the state, but Jordan Marshall was able to power his way through for a positive gain.
3rd and 9 now for the Crusader double set. Jordan Marshall's the back. Luke Dunn looking towards the sideline, looking for the call. This one, a read option from Marshall to Dunn, and Marshall breaking away all the way near the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown. So a 36-yard run for Marshall. What looked like it was going to be just about a 7-yard gain. Marshall breaks free for an early touchdown for Moeller.
Yeah, and Jordan Marshall showing off his power right there. He looks like a grown man, only a junior, but just threw off many Comet defenders trying to make the tackle. Waltz is in for the touchdown. Comets thought they had him stopped, and now they're going to be playing from behind.
So just 3 minutes into the game, the Comets had a 3-and-out, and Moeller drives down the field, just 3 plays, score a touchdown. That one a 36-yard run by Jordan Marshall. PA attempt is up and good to Moeller, out to the early 7-0 lead over the Comets.
I'll tell you what, that extra point attempt right there, really impressive. Their kicker, Devin Orr, just booted that thing way over. They have some trees behind the goalpost here. It went over those trees, so something to watch if Moeller needs to get some field goals today. Yeah, the Comets going to have to bounce back. Really rough first drive offensively. Promising start defensively before Jordan Marshall just imposed his will on the defense.
Let's take a look at this offer list for the 4-star running back Jordan Marshall. He's been offered by Akron, University of Cincinnati, Duke, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Iowa, Kentucky, Louisville, Miami of Ohio, Michigan, Michigan State, Minnesota, Missouri, Northwestern, Ohio State, Pitt, Purdue, Rutgers, South Carolina, Stanford. The list keeps going on. Syracuse, Tennessee, Toledo, Vanderbilt, West Virginia, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, he can just go about anywhere he wants.
One team, and he can go about anywhere he wants. And it feels like the entire Big Ten's on that list.
Yeah, the whole Big Ten. A lot of MAC schools definitely trying to get in on Marshall early, although I don't think he's going to go there. Even some SEC schools. We saw Tennessee, who's a top 5 team in the country this year, kind of out of nowhere. Maybe they'll get lucky and get Marshall.
Again, 9:13 on the clock. Less than 3 minutes off the clock, and Moeller's already on the board. And, important to note, Moeller deferred. It's just, they won the coin toss, deferred, and we'll get the ball at halftime. So early lead. It's this one booted away. Muffed by Krugerberg, but it's going to be in the end zone, so they will call a touchback. And again, nice kick from Whaley Ratliff.
Yeah, and a disaster averted right there from Krugerberg. If that was a punt, Moeller definitely probably would have gotten to the ball. But now Comet offense still gets it back at the 20 per usual touchback. And Larson Brown had no time to operate last drive.
Brown and his squad trot onto the field. They're going to stay in that double set. And Zach Adlita wide open on this left side of the field. Man in motion, Quentin Kaler. This one going to be a handoff to Hibbett, but Hibbett stuffed immediately. It's going to be a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, and one of the things Moeller can do because they have so many great DBs is they can stack the box, bring their linebackers and one of their safeties down low to protect against the run, and then rely on the athleticism of their corners to go one-on-one with the Comets, and we saw it right there. Tay Hibbett met immediately by a linebacker.
Second and 9 now for the Comets. 8:41 to go in this first quarter. Doubles to the right, no receivers on the left. Brown drops back, looking down the field. Big throw, but overthrown. That time he was trying to hit his brother, Quinn Brown.
Yeah, Quinn Brown right there. Got some separation, but right past the first down marker. Zach Adlita also was pretty open down the field. Larson Brown had time to throw right there. That's a look that the Comets will want again.
And, this wind has to be factoring in here at Barnett Stadium. It rained all this morning, and now the wind's really picking up here, towards 7 o'clock. We're up on top of the press box and definitely feeling that cold breeze, but it's definitely a lot worse than a cold breeze, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. We're right by a Middletown flag. That thing is flapping all through the air. You can just tell. how windy it is makes it really difficult to throw the ball.
Mason, I believe it's going to be Moeller, calls it Mason, sorry. They signaled both ways, but eventually Mason's going to call their first timeout. Coach Castor wanted to get that right defensive set. 3rd and 9. Not to start the Comets hoped for on offense. They've only been able to pick up 1 yard.
Yeah, and this is about as crucial of a play that you can have with 8 minutes left in the first quarter. The Comets, like you said, not the start they wanted. Moeller, one of the best teams in the state. You know, if they don't score right here, or if they don't keep this drive going, Moeller can turn on just the Jordan Marshall show and kind of ram the clock out. They need to get off to a better start.
Again, 8:29 left in this first quarter.
Well, that's what they did against St. X last week. Jordan Marshall scored a touchdown early. They got out to an early lead and just carried the rock the entire time. And Marshall ended up with 263 rushing yards. That's unreal.
And, you know, that's the reason why, you know, you see names like Ohio State, Tennessee, Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin on his list. You know, they produce some of the best backs in the country. When you think about Travion Henderson, Blake Corum, you know, throw Braylon Allen in there. And those are some top-tier running backs that likely have NFL potential. And Jordan Marshall, you know, he could be the next in line. But it's all about this Comets offense now. 2-receiver set on the left. Nick Sailors is in motion. It's going to be a jet toss to him, trying to break free of some Moeller defenders. Ultimately, he's going to be stopped a yard behind the line. Could not find any separation. And the Comet punt team, they're going to have to charge onto the field again.
Yeah, and right there, the play call gets Sailors open in some space. He was trying to follow Tate Hibbett as a blocker. And Sailors was able to break through a couple tackles, running violently right there. But none of the Comets were able to hold on to any blocks. The Crusaders were just pounding Sailors.
Clock just under 8 minutes now left in this first quarter. Krugerberg back to punt, very low snap, able to recover, boots it away. Nice kick from Krugerberg. And return right away. Conlon Daniel, but a big hit from the Comets, and who other? Jake Bates delivering a huge hit on special teams.
Yeah, and Jake Bates has been a special team standout for the past few years. That's how he kind of caught our attention, was as a sophomore, delivering big hits and punts. And right there, gets back to his roots. Kind of makes a statement.
So that Moeller offense,
and
right back onto the field.
Conlon Daniel is going to stay out there. Now he's at quarterback. Typically a cornerback.
This one, not going to be a handoff to Marshall, but it's going to be their backup. We'll wait to see who that is. I believe it's going to be Brett Kelly. So can't imagine Moeller's already putting their second strings in.
Now the offensive line still out there. Tanell Bryant still out there, but no Marshall. And their starting quarterback not out there either.
And Luke Dunn has been dealing with some wrist injuries, so that could be a precautionary thing. But, you know, not seeing Marshall out there, very shocking. This one, shotgun snap, a deep throw down the field to Tanell Bryant. And that one in and out of his hands. And I thought, you know, if he would have just kept running, he would have been able to catch that in stride. It almost seemed like he paused a little bit, tried to make a diving catch for it, and ultimately went through his hands.
And right there, that's where the chemistry of having a backup quarterback in really hurts you. Tanell Bryant is crazy fast, finished in 4th place in the OHSAA 100-meter dash last year at the state meet. He technically broke the Ohio record at Mason, the district meet last year, but was wind-aided. A 10.29. His official fastest time was a 10.7. That dude has lightning fast speed, and he showed it off right there. Nearly punished Mason.
3rd and 3 now for the Crusaders. This one going to be a handoff. Driving down the field at least 12 yards up to the 15-yard carry. That one going to be Jordan Marshall as he checks back into the game.
And Marshall, contact immediately, does not matter, just pushing off Comet defenders and barrels through for the first down. I got to wonder, Adam, how much of those 263 yards last week were after contact? He's just ragdolling some Comets.
And you can just see the size differential on the field. You know, the Crusaders in yellow and the Comets in white, and those yellow jerseys just towering over the white Mason Comets, white jersey Mason Comets. This one drops back, deep heave down the field for Tanell Bryant, and it's going to be a touchdown. 34 yards, Tanell Bryant wide open as he flies by J.C. Deaton, one of the Comets' fastest men in the secondary for a touchdown.
And JC Deaton tried to make a break on that ball, didn't fully commit to going for the interception, and that hurts him right there. That's kind of the play you have to make with Tennell Bryant. Nobody is beating him in a foot race. You have to take risks. Deaton doesn't commit, and the Crusaders are back on the board.
$13-0 lead now for the Crusaders with 6:31 on the clock, and another bombed extra point there. That one all the way into the parking lot. What a kick from the Crusaders. And again, less than halfway through this first quarter. Moeller already up 14-0 over the Crusaders.
Yeah, and right there.
Or Moeller already up 14-0 over the Comets.
And Tennell Bryant committed to Arkansas State, just one of many of the Division I commits on this team. And Moeller's offense really just outmatching the Comet defense that has been one of the best in the state this season. And there's a clear disparity right now on the field. But the Comets, they've thrived as an underdog this year. A lot of time left to make a change.
Moeller really been relying on their two stars, Tennell Bryant and Jordan Marshall so far. We'll see if they try to throw some other players in the mix, or if they're just going to pound it to their two all-stars. And with the way they're playing right now, you might as well just hand it off and throw it to your two all-stars on every play.
Yeah, with the offensive line that they have, the skill position players, you don't need to overcomplicate things.
This one booted away. Easily a touchback for the Crusaders. This Comets going to start with the ball at the 20-yard line. Larson Brown and his squad huddle up together right now. He's trying to, bring a spark.
Yeah, and it's crazy to say it, but it kind of feels like this drive has a lot of the fate of the season riding on it. Down 2 touchdowns already. We just saw what Moeller's offense did. A lot of time left, but there is a sense of desperation that Mason hasn't felt all season long. They've been competitive through the first half of every single one of their games.
Double set for the Comets again. Tay Hibbett is the back, Brown in the shotgun. He takes the snap. This one going to be a handoff to Tay Hibbett. Larson Brown getting in on the blocking there. But again, Hibbett going to be wrapped up immediately, only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how much of that Larson Brown block was voluntary. Number 15 was already in the backfield by the time Hibbett got the handoff, and he just pushed off Brown. Honestly, may have gotten away with a little unnecessary roughness right there, but Larson Brown was a part of the play as a blocker. So Hibbett only picks up 1 yard.
So 2nd and 9 now for the Comets. They're going to stand that double set. Hibbett's the back. 5:52 on the clock. Quentin Kaler in motion. Again, handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett finds a little gap. He's only able to exploit it for about 3 yards, so 3rd and 6. Comets again, set up for a 3rd and long. Probably going to be forced to pass the ball.
Yeah, and they had, on their last drive, they had an open look to Quinn Brown and Zach Adlita. We haven't seen much of Braden Greer, who had a monster game last week. So there's definitely some options for the Comets. And if they can even just pick up 3-4 yards here, you consider going for it on 4th down. And their offense lined up in the spread now.
Braden Greer in motion. As Brown drops back, feeling some pressure, tries to find Chase Blevins. But that one going to be knocked away. There's an injured Comet on the field. He's going to get up on his own. That was Jack Ryder. He gets up on his own. He limps off the field, though.
Yeah, and Larson Brown put a lot of velocity on that ball. He was feeling pressure off of both sides. Got the ball out quick, and unfortunately, not accurate.
It's going to first Sean Krugerberg to punt again with 5:06 left in this first quarter. Moeller already has a 2-touchdown lead. This one, fair caught. Conlon Daniel now. We'll see if he trots back on the field as quarterback. He just returned that punt. Very interesting start. Moeller's mixing things up offensively. 5:01 in this first quarter.
Yeah, and they're showing a lot of confidence in their guys as, again, number 7 staying out on the field.
It's going to be Jordan Marshall right behind him as the back. Two receivers on the right, one on the left, but likely Daniel drops back. That one batted away at the line by Bryce Falk.
And there's some momentum the Comets have been looking for. Bryce Falk, one of the best defensive players in the city this year. Dominant for the Comets. Came up big in the last 2 playoff games, and right there, that's one of the best plays the Comets have had all game.
Nice showing from the Mason student section tonight. It's kind of feeding over. Barnett Stadium, has huge capacity, and Comets starting to fill things up. 2nd and 10 now. This one is going to be a handoff to Marshall. And again, he just turned what should have been about a 1-yard gain into a 5-yard gain up the middle, diving forward. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
The Comets did everything right on that play. Got to Marshall immediately, but he was able to almost crawl forward for some yards before his knees hit the ground. Really impressive play.
Moeller trying to get to the line quickly. They get the snap up, but it's going to be a false start. Comet fans excited about that one, so that's going to take back that Jordan Marshall run. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, the difference between 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 10, honestly, when you have Jordan Marshall in the backfield, might not be that significant, but certainly a hit towards Moeller. The Comet defense right here has an opportunity to get off the field.
Trip set to the right. One receiver on the left. Marshall is the back. 3rd and 10 now as Daniel drops back. Looking towards the middle of the field. And that one overthrown. He was trying to find his tight end, Ben Gruber.
And now the punt unit going to come out. So
first time tonight.
3 and out for the Comets. Very successful series for Mason's defense. But unfortunately for Larson Brown and company, not going to have a great field position as Moeller's right around the midfield mark at the 44. So Krukenberg lined up at the 20.
4 minutes left in this first quarter. It's been a slow first half, but when you've already got 2 touchdowns from the Crusaders, that'll almost do the trick. That one almost blocked by Jake Bates. He's been a special teams beast tonight. But that punt still beautiful as it rolls inside of the Mason 10. So the Comets are going to start possession at the 9-yard line. That one almost blocked by Jake Bates.
Yeah, we're seeing some vintage Jake Bates on special teams. You love to see it, but unfortunately doesn't come into contact with the punt. Now the Comets have to go 91 yards, but we saw them go 90-plus yards on the last drive of last week's game. This offense is capable of it. Very different circumstances, though. Down 14 earlier in the game. Last week, season on the line, down by 5 points.
Hibbett will be the back. The Comets starting at the 9. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Brown is in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap on 1st and 10. It's going to be a pass rolling to his left. Big throw down the field. That one was trying to find Chase Blevins, but a little bit underthrown. The wing kind of picked that one up.
Yeah, and I thought that was a pretty accurate pass from Larson Brown. Chase Blevins kind of struggling to find it as he turned around. He had 3 Crusader defenders on him. Was staring right into the bright lights of Barnett Stadium. But that was definitely an opportunity the Comets thought they were going to be able to convert on. They've taken a few deep shots.
Especially on 1st down, backed up in your own territory. But now Brown's going to be under center for the first time tonight. A lot of movement from the Comets. This one going to be a handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett trying to push forward. He stopped after a 1-yard gain. It's been a common theme tonight.
Yeah, Mason's got no push in the run game so far. The Crusader front 7 absolutely dominant at the line of scrimmage. Tay Hibbett and Nick Sailors have been running hard and amounting to about nothing.
And I'm surprised we haven't seen more Nick Sailors in the backfield tonight. We saw him, but he was lined up at that slot receiver position when he took, the jet sweep.
This week, Nick Sailor is going to play a lot of snaps on defense, especially after last week. He had a pick 6. He was very impactful on both sides of the ball. They felt like they need him more on defense today.
And with that, he's going to check into the game at running back. Double set. Kaler in motion. This one, fake handoff. It's an RPO. And Brown, he's going to find his target, Braden Greer. Or Zach Adlita, excuse me.
Yeah, and that was a really nice play from the comments, they caught the Crusader defense sleeping a little bit on that RPO.
And we haven't seen the Comets utilize that RPO a lot this year. They used to do it a lot with Larson Brown's brother, Colin Brown, giving me flashbacks to the Coleraine game when they were, feeling like every play was an RPO to Jack Cooper on that slant route. And
Exact same play right there with Adlita.
Beautiful execution. Comets pick up their first down of the night with 2:47 left in this first quarter. Double set, Kaler in motion. That same play, but this time it's going to be a handoff to Sailors, and Sailors stuffed immediately at the line.
And there again, the Moeller run defense just dominant. A huge size disparity. I know we don't have video, unfortunately, but all of Moeller's defensive linemen towering on the field. And Tay Hibbett just getting very little push.
Two receivers. Trip set on the left for the Comets. Kaler in motion. Brown in the shotgun. This one going to be a toss to Sailors. Sailors finds a little bit of breathing room. He's going to dive forward for a 5-yard gain. A nice hard run there.
And that's what the Comets are going to have to do if they want to get this run game going. It's get their rushers out in space right there. The sweep to Sailors. He gets outside, and then looks like Jordan Marshall a little bit on the run as he fell forward for about an extra 2 or 3 yard gain. So now very manageable 3rd and 4. Comet offense has some momentum, which is more than they could say on the last 2 drives.
And that's the big difference between Hibbett and Sailors. Sailors, it seems like, after contact gets more yards than Hibbett. Hibbett does have a little bit more speed, though. But 3rd and 4 now for the Comets. Trips set on the left. Braden Greer's in motion. Brown rolling towards the left. Brown heaves one downfield. That one intercepted by Moeller, but they're going to say he was out of bounds. So it'll go down as an incomplete pass. 4th down and 4. We'll see what the Comets decide to do.
And I think they'll stay out here. You got nothing to lose, down 14.
Yeah, and actually the punt team's going to run out. So very
I don't
delayed.
like that decision.
Yeah, Comets inside of their own territory. They're at the 35. A minute 15 left in this first quarter. Already a two-score deficit. I agree, Andrew. You riding off some momentum. Had a few nice plays before. The Krugerberg's going to rugby style it, punt it away. A nice punt. This one, fair caught by Daniel. Almost muffed that one, but he was able to recover it.
Yeah, the Comets nearly picked up a lot of yardage, got the ball back. But going back to that last play, Larson Brown threw the exact same wheel route to Colin Billhorn that they scored a touchdown on
in round
a
1
few
of the
weeks
playoffs.
ago. Yeah, it did not work there, and then the Comets decided to punt it, which again, we kind of critical of that decision, as now you're just giving the Moeller more time to pound away at the clock and get this Comet defense tired.
Very wide set for Moeller. Daniel deep in the shotgun. Marshall right behind him. This one going to be handoff to Jordan Marshall. Marshall pushing forward, and he'll pick up 6 yards on the carry.
The Comets already adjusting their defense to Jordan Marshall's terrific first start to the game. They're running a 4-4-3 alignment right now. Only 3 guys in the secondary. They have Weston Simmons and Nick Sailors, typically safeties, playing in the box, acting as outside linebackers. But right there, didn't really help much.
3 receiver set for Moeller, but Marshall deep in the backfield. He's almost 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, but Daniel's going to drop back. It's going to be a short throw. Nick Sailors tried to wrap him up, but again, charging forward, and that's going to be a 21-yard pickup. That one complete to Ben Gruber.
And right now, the Comets struggling tackling, which is not something they've had a problem with all season long. Maybe that's because they're playing Moeller, who has just a different level of athlete compared to what most teams have. Every guy on their team is big, fast, and strong. And Comets having some trouble wrapping up.
Daniel in the shotgun, Marshall to his right this time. This one going to be handed off to him. Trying to find some space as he trucks Weston Simmons. You could hear that one in the stands for a 5-yard pickup. That one's going to hurt tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's the type of play that goes on a highlight reel. Marshall lowers his shoulder and makes a statement on the last play of the first quarter.
And with that, clock will expire here in the first quarter. Moeller out to the early 14-0 lead. They have the ball, at the 45-yard line. They've been dominating the Comets so far. Will they be able to bounce back? We're going to head to a quick break here as Crusaders lead the Comets 14-0 here at Barnett Stadium. Second and 5 now for the Crusaders. Daniel drops back that one. Going to be a sack for the Comets. So a big stop there. So 3rd down and 8. That one going to be Malachi Reed they're going to give it to.
And this would be big here if the Comets can get another stop after last drive. And their defense finally has some momentum. The offense started to get moving.
Again, Moeller inside of Comet territory at the 44-yard line. Daniel drops back, rolling to the left, feeling some pressure. It's going to be a screen pass to Marshall, and there's a lot of green grass ahead. Marshall past the 15, and he's going to be brought down at the 11-yard line. And a 35-yard screen pass pickup for Jordan Marshall and the Moeller Crusaders as they are now inside of the Mason red zone.
Yeah, and Jordan Marshall just doing all the work. Conlon Daniel faced a lot of pressure. He nearly got sacked, but all he had to do was find 24 on the field, and he did the rest. Stumbled. That honestly could have been a touchdown. Weston Simmons got in his way, and Jordan Marshall just kind of went down by choice.
First and 10 now for Moeller. 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right, but this one just going to be a handoff down the middle. And we'll see if they give it to him. They're going to mark him just short at the 1. That was not Marshall. That was Brett Kelly.
And a last-second effort from the Comet DBs. Shoved down Kelly, prevented the touchdown.
Moeller, hurry-up offense. This one again going to be a handoff down the middle to Kelly. And Kelly will dive right in for Moeller's 3rd touchdown of the first half with 10 minutes and 36 seconds to go here in the second. Moeller back on the board this time. It's going to be Brett Kelly.
And one of the things we had written down, Adam, as the key to the game for the Comets was not giving up these big plays. The first 2 touchdowns, big plays. That one set up by a big screen pass from Jordan Marshall. Marshall and Bryant, who we knew going in were going to be the 2 big names to watch, are just dominating.
Moeller back to attempt the PAT. We've seen some nice kicks so far tonight from Moeller. Definitely be on the radar of some colleges after the way he's kicking tonight. He's had 3 touchbacks. Comets sensing pressure with this extra point, up and away, and it is good. So Moeller now holds the 21-point lead over the Comets. Still a lot of time left here in Middletown, Ohio in the regional semifinals. But the number 1 seeded Moeller Crusaders showing why they're ranked number 1.
Absolutely, they're living up to it, and it's really just been about 2 guys, Jordan Marshall and Tennell Bryant. Marshall, 2 major plays in the screen game. One of those went for a touchdown, the other one set up the last touchdown, and then Tennell Bryant beat the Comet defensive backs a couple times down the field with his speed. One of them for a touchdown. So the Comet defense has been doing a good job in between the tackles, but it's these big plays that are costing them, and they're the reason that they're down 3 scores on the scoreboard right now. This
Green out theme for Mason student section. Again, nice showing here. Middletown about 30, 35 minutes away from Mason. Mason students showing up big crowd from the Mason community as well. You know, Barnett Stadium, huge away stands, and the Comets done a nice job of, you know, filling that up pretty nicely.
Definitely filled in as kickoff approached.
This one booted away. Sean Krugerberg back to return, fields it at the 5, past the 20-yard line. He's going to be stopped right around the 22-yard line after taking a big hit from the Crusaders.
Yeah, and this Comet offense, we keep saying it, on kind of their last leg each drive. They've had opportunities to move the ball down the field, and each time they've come up just a little bit short. That talent in the Crusaders secondary, whether it's Carson Hobbs, Conlon Daniel, or Matthew Saliga, right now they're getting the best of the Comet receivers.
Trips to the right now for Mason. Larson Brown back in the shotgun. The Comets are back on the field. They have possession at the 22-yard line. As Brown takes the snap. This one going to be a handoff to Hibbett. Hibbett pushes forward for about a 3-yard gain.
And again, the Crusaders immediately in the backfield. Hibbett found the only open gap and went through it, picked up just 3 yards, but he's going to be happy with the result right there. That could have been a loss.
2nd and 7 now for Mason. And not a lot of signs of life, you know, shown on this Mason sideline. They're down 3 touchdowns early, but they've got to keep the energy up. Quentin Kaler in motion. This one going to be a sweep to Hibbett, but Hibbett met immediately in the backfield, and that's going to push him back to where they started, a 3-yard loss. 3rd and 10 now. Comets are going to be forced to chuck it down the field.
Yeah, the Comets are trying to establish the run. They had a lot of success in the passing game last week after establishing the run earlier in the first half, and right now have not been able to do that. Moeller stacking the box, relying on the athletes they have, and really just showing the talent disparity.
Trips to the right. Blevins, Greer, and Billhorn are the receivers. Greer's in motion. Brown takes a shotgun snap. It's going to be a screen pass. And Quinn Brown tripped up by his own feet. He had a little bit of a gap there. And, you know, that screenplay, it looked like it was going to be executed beautifully, and you know, Brown just slips.
Yeah, Brown had a couple blockers. He definitely could have taken that for the first down. Just slips up. Now the Comet punt unit again has to come out onto the field, and Moeller's going to get the ball around midfield.
There's going to be a timeout on the field. I believe it's an official timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need someone to move their car. If you have a red escape license plate.
Sailor's going to check out of the game. Maybe a little bit of an equipment issue. But 8:48 left in this first half. As Sean Krugerberg back to punt. Yet again for Mason, a very low snap. This one almost, and it looks like it's going to be tipped at the line, but still, Krugerberg able to get enough underneath it to where it's going to roll for a long time. Past the 35 now into Moeller territory. And despite that very wonky punt, Krugerberg gets a lot of roll on that, and Moeller's going to start at their own 33-yard line.
That was Krukenberg's best punt of the night, even though, you know, almost looked like it got blocked at the line of scrimmage. A lot of bounce now. Moeller starting back at the 33. Normally that's considered great field position, but considering where they've been at the beginning of each drive tonight, you know, the Comets are definitely going to take it. They have not had to go very far to score each time of possession.
Quarterback change for Moeller. Luke Dunn back in the game. And again, Kelly's going to be the back. This one, a handoff to him. He's charging forward, trucks past Comets linebackers for a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, and Kelly, it feels weird to say when you have Jordan Marshall on this team, but Kelly's their power back. And he just barreled through a couple Comet defenders and picked up 5 yards. You know, Jordan Marshall, obviously known for breaking tackles, but Kelly, not too shabby himself.
Second and 5 now. Terrell Bryant in motion. This is going to be, you know, a tip pass to him. He's going to pick up the first down and more.
And so now Bryant had a lot of momentum on that play. It looked like he had the potential to take that one to the house, and Jake Bates got a hand on him. And then Kai Wolfolk was able to bring down Bryant and prevent a big-time play. But still, it is a first down for the Crusaders.
7:40 left in this first half. Moeller, and they've been explosive on offense so far. Flag thrown on the snap. We'll see who this is on.
It is on the Crusaders. They're walking back. So Moeller's had more penalties.
Encroachment on the offense.
You don't see that very often.
And the ref was pointing towards the Mason side, but said Moeller, and he will correct his, his hand motions. It's that one. Gonna push Moeller back 5 yards. 1st and 15 now. Moeller has it at their own 44. 3 receiver set. That's done. Hands this one off to Kelly. Kelly is gonna be met a yard behind the line of scrimmage. A flag is thrown. We'll see what the call is. Potentially a hold, but Moeller, they don't seem too phased over that one.
Yeah, and the Comets got straight to the ball carrier right there.
It is going to be a hold.
Definitely.
On Moeller, so that's going to push them back even further.
And the Comets are starting to get some momentum here. Defensively, even though they've given up those big plays, they're looking more like the Comet defense that we're familiar with. And now Moeller all the way pushed back to the 33, so where they originally started this drive. But it's 1st and 25.
Double set for the Crusaders, 2 receivers on each side. Kelly's still the back, but Dunn's going to drop back. It's a screen pass, almost intercepted. That one in the hands of Aaron Spears. And he just drops it. He almost caught him off guard there.
Absolutely, Spears wasn't expecting that. That ball went right to him. Had the potential to be a game-changing play.
And it almost looked like Spears was looking the other way. His arms were stuck out, and the ball just kind of hit him in the chest. So even though he wasn't even looking towards that
Comet D-line, got a lot of pressure there. Forced Dunn to be inaccurate with the throw.
The wind is really starting to pick up here at Barnett Stadium. 2nd and 25 now as Dunn drops back, feeling some pressure. And he's going to be brought down. That time, Liam McMains. They're going to give him a 2-yard run, but Comets, they're going to view that almost as a sack. They'll take it.
Yeah, this defensive line, who's been the strength of the Comets all year long, is really starting to get into motion right here. Caden Davis, Aaron Spears, Bryce Falk, all these guys have been getting into the backfield, making things difficult for Luke Dunn. He was coming off an injury.
3rd and 23 now for Moeller as Dunn drops back. Going to be a screen pass to Kelly. But Kelly is going to be tackled at the 39. There's 2 flags thrown. One from the back judge and one from the line judge. I think it might be another hold on Moeller. But if so, Comets would decline that. It's actually going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on Moeller.
Moeller definitely has not been the more disciplined team tonight. And now Coach Kastner talking with the referees, unhappy about the last play. And it was called a blindside block. I believe it was on Jake Bates, and Bates was still able to make the tackle.
And that's just showing the beast that Jake Bates is. He'll take a blindside block and still make the tackle on the powerful Kelly. But for the 2nd time tonight, the yellow punt unit for the Crusaders going to trot onto the field.
And right there, no Jordan Marshall on that series, and it ends up in a punt.
Fourth and 16. Flag thrown at the line. They're going to call another penalty on Moeller. It's a false start.
Starting to remind me a bit of the Princeton game. That was a little bit closer earlier in the game, but the Vikings had a lot of penalties, and it allowed the Comets to kind of gain some momentum. Now Comets going to get better field position here.
Comets, they've got 2 returners back. It's Weston Simmons and Sean Krugerberg lined up on each of the hashes near their own 35. This one blocked by Jake Bates. Bates looking for the ball. It's going to be picked up at the 30 by the Comets. Kai Wolfolk recovers that one. And, Jake Bates, he's been close to blocking 2 of them. And, the Moeller punter was taking his sweet old time on that. And Jake Bates just blocks that one away.
And one of Coach Kastner's philosophies for years has been put your best 11 guys on the field at all times, including special teams. He's gotten away from that a little bit this year to keep his guys fresh on defense, but now Jake Bates excelling back on special teams, gets the block. That could have been a touchdown. He wasn't able to spot the ball. He was alone in the backfield, which makes that block all the more impressive. He had no help. He was the single catalyst
rusher
right there. What a player.
And Jake Bates, he's been the glue that's been holding this Comet team together. And so the game hasn't been more ugly than it's already been. But 5:45 on the clock, Comets down 21. Brown hands this one off to Hibbett, and Hibbett met immediately at the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to call it a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, and Brandon Martin, the defensive lineman for Moeller, he already has a sack tonight, immediately met Hibbett. Quentin Kaler was in motion trying to block him, and Martin just beat him to a spot. He's been very impactful tonight from the defensive end position, making it really difficult for the Comets to run the ball.
5:17 left in this first half. Comets, they've been loving this double set tonight, 2 receivers on each side. Hibbett is the man in the backfield for Brown. As Brown drops back, looking towards the left side of the field. It's a fade. And Comets are wanting pass interference, so they're going to get it. Braden Greer was being held all over. We'll see who they call it on. I believe that's going to be on Tommy Steins, the senior safety. We'll wait the official call. It'll definitely be pass interference on Moeller, though. And Comets.
And it is.
And despite being down by 3 touchdowns, got a lot of momentum right now.
They've got some fight, and right there, Larson Brown facing a lot of pressure. Martin hit him, but Brown, falling onto his back, was still able to deliver a relatively accurate throw. I mean, Braden Greer had a shot for that ball being grabbed. Of course, the pass interference gets the Comets a new set of downs. Another penalty for Moeller. Really, the Comets really winning in that aspect of the game, playing much cleaner football, and that's going to help them, going forward.
Ball will now be placed at the Crusader 14-yard line, so Mason in the red zone for the first time tonight. 4:59 left in the second quarter. Comets, they've got 4 receivers in the game. They're trying to get to the line quickly, maybe try and catch Moeller off guard. Brown takes a snap. This one, hand off to Hibbett. Hibbett breaking free towards the right side, bounces back. Hibbett's jersey's being held, but that's not going to stop him as he dives forward to the 7. That's going to be a 7-yard pickup for Tay Hibbett, his best run of the night.
Yeah, and his jersey's going to turn into an extra large after that. Got tugged so much. I honestly thought it was going to get ripped off for a second. And the Comets taking advantage of Moeller's weak box. They're running a 4-2-5, only 2 linebackers out there, and Hibbett able to run up the middle.
You've got to give credit to Kyler Paul on Moeller. He stopped a touchdown there by grabbing Hibbett's jersey. So 2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right. Sailors is the back. Comets have it at the 12-yard line. This one going to be taken. It's going to be a fumble from Quentin Kaler. We'll see who comes on top with it. Moeller's pointing down the field, and Quentin Kaler with the fumble. And the Comets, they went to the line so quickly, we weren't able to tell you. It was a wildcat formation, and that ball just stripped away from Quentin Kaler.
Quentin Kaler ran it. It looked like it was a read option. He got hit hard, and the ball just pops free.
Well, definitely did not make the right read there. I thought he should have handed it off to the Sailors.
Absolutely. Sailors could have had a touchdown with some of the grass in front of them. And a very promising drive for the Comets is going to end. Those are the types of plays that just kill momentum. Comets were clawing back into this game. And now just 4 minutes left in the first half. Moeller gets the ball to start the second half. Their path to victory just keeps getting narrower.
Daniel is the back, or is the quarterback. And Kelly is the running back. Kelly finding a lot of breathing room. And he's all the way down past the 30-yard line. Up to the Moeller 31. That's going to be a 22-yard pickup on first down. 4:01 on the clock. Chains rushing forward to get reset. The ball's placed.
And Adam, I could have got a first down on that with the way the run blocking was right there. Kelly was untouched for about 15 yards.
Huge credit to the offensive line of Moeller. They haven't needed their star Jordan Marshall. Daniel's going to drop back. Heaves it downfield. And that one a little bit underthrown and to the right of Tennell Bryant.
J.C. Deaton went stride for stride with Bryant there. Something that's not gonna happen a lot. And Kyle Whitlock put a lot of pressure on Dunn, caused that ball to be underthrown, and J.C. Deaton nearly intercepted it. Probably wasn't aggressive, as he could have been. Just trying to avoid the pass interference call right there.
Smart to stay on Bryant and not give up the long touchdown. So that would have been a 68-yard touchdown. With 3:36 left in the first half now. 2nd and 10 for the Crusaders at their own 32-yard line. This one gonna be an RPO and a long pass down the field. And he breaks free that time. It's gonna be Jacob Gearhart, and he will go untouched after the contact when he catches the ball. The RPO, a 68-yard touchdown to number 82, Jake Gebhardt.
And the tight end right there just hit Common safety Sean Krukenberg like a Mack truck, ran him over, and it was all green grass.
And there's going to be a flag on the field, and they're going to say that RPO, Daniel held onto the ball a little too long. They're going to say illegal man downfield. And I was going to say, Andrew, I mean, he caught that ball, Gesselbracht caught that ball about 20 yards down the field on an RPO. That doesn't happen very often.
No, RPOs are very quick plays. The offensive linemen are not allowed to block past the line of scrimmage on passing plays. They are on running plays, and the run pass option, the offensive linemen are in motion. They're ready to go downfield, and if you don't throw it quickly enough, it's a penalty. And right there, that play had too much time to develop.
And you can hear a roar of boos from this Crusader side. But that was the right call. I mean, if there's an RPO 20 yards down the field, that's a red flag right away.
Yeah.
So that's going to push them back 2nd and 14. A huge sigh of relief for the Comets. Daniel's going to drop back. And again, Daniel is going to find Gebhardt, but in and out of the hands. He was wide open for a 15-yard pickup, but he just drops that one, Jesselbratt.
Yeah, and I think maybe the last play got in his head a little bit. He just had probably the longest touchdown he'll ever get. And it got called back. And right there, not focused. Drops the pass, and the Comets are playing a very soft zone defense right there. He had space, could have picked up the first down. Real missed opportunity.
So 3rd and 15 now for the Crusaders. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first half. Ball is at the Moeller 27. See if they can get a big play. They got a double set. Look for Tennell Bryant potentially. Daniel looking towards the left side of the field, and who other than Tennell Bryant's going to get the pass. He will be brought down, though. Only going to be a 2-yard pickup. Nice tackle in the secondary for Weston Simmons.
And Weston Simmons came downhill from the safety position right there. Got to Tennell Bryant almost immediately, which you have to do considering his speed. Prevents the big play. The Comets might have another.
And that snap going to be dropped from the punter, but rugby style kicked away. It's going to hit at the 40, touched by a Crusader at the 40. So Mason.
Now, Comets, their best field position of the night outside of that blocked punt.
They're actually going to say it was touched by a Crusader at the 41. So Comets, they got 59 yards to work with. 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in the first half. And Larson Brown and the Comets offense, they started to get cooking in the red zone, but then, that Quentin Kaler fumble really hurt them. Killed all their momentum. But trips on the left, one receiver on the right now for Brown. Greer in motion. Brown drops back, looking towards the left side of the field, and a wide open Zach Adlita. A beautiful catch, tiptoes that near the out of bounds, and that's going to be enough for a first down on 14 yards.
Yeah, and Larson Brown has time to throw, lets the play develop. Adlita going across the field, wide open.
Beautiful catch on the tiptoe.
Picks up the first down, and that's a great start. The Comets need a touchdown on this drive if they want any chance to win the game, and that is a great start.
So they have it at the 44, inside of Moeller territory. 2:35 on the clock. Trips on the right, one receiver on the left. Brown's in the shotgun. He's going to take the snap. Hands it off to Hibbett. Hibbett chugging forward for a 6-yard pickup. And he's, definitely improved throughout the game from what were they were 2-yard gains and 3-yard gains are now becoming 5- and 6-yard gains.
Yeah, and the Comets, starting to wear out the Moeller defense a little bit with the run game. They've been persistent trying to establish it, and now they're finding some success, and it's helping them with their play-action passing game as well.
Double set for the Comets. Ball's on the left hash. They're going from left to right. 2:03 on the clock. Brown's on the shotgun. He will take the snap. This one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Sailors finds a little bit of a gap, and he's going to pick up the first down on a 9-yard carry. So it looked like he was going to be stopped after about 2 yards, but again, showing that shiftiness.
Yeah, Crusaders get to him really quickly, but Nick Sailors showing off the don't quit mentality that he has running down the field. As he found a tiny gap, took advantage of it, picked up that first down, just running downhill.
A minute 33 now. Clock continues to wind down. That same double set formation. The ball's at the 31, 1st and 10. Brown takes the snap. He's dropping back, feeling the heat, and he's going to be brought down. Almost looked like that was going to be a fumble, but a huge sack for the Crusaders. That one on 55, Nick Mohannon.
Yeah, Monahan coming off the Comet right side, hits Larson Brown, who's right-handed, right where the ball is. And Brown, I don't know how he didn't fumble that one. Monahan directly tackled him by his arm.
That's going to push them back 9 yards. Minute 15 on the clock. Still got almost 40 yards to work with. And Andrew, you know, what's a play you'd like to see the Comets dial up here and try to get on the scoreboard before, you know, we head into halftime?
I'd like to see them try the wheel route again to Colin Billhorn. Obviously, big touchdown against Coleraine a few weeks ago. They tried it earlier in this game, and Carson Hobbs and these Comets the Crusaders secondary blew up the play. But now that they've got their run game going a little bit more, could be open, and that's a big play threat right there every time you call it.
2nd and 18 for the Comets. A minute 15 left in the second quarter. Comets trot back onto the field in a trip set with one receiver on the left. Nick Sailors is the back. Brown in the shotgun. It's going to be a screen pass to Sailors, but going to be swarmed by Crusader defenders, and it'll be a 2-yard loss.
And the Comets trying to get the screen game going. They've had a lot of success with that this year, especially last week in those last 2 drives in the comeback against Springboro, but have not been able to get anything going against the Crusaders tonight. You know, their defense just too fast. Is able to break down those plays immediately.
And a lot of that screen success we saw, you know, last week and the week before was to their tight end / H-back, Quentin Kaler. Tonight we haven't really seen him get involved, and when he did touch the ball, it was the fumble in the red zone that proved real costly. And if they would have been able to score there, that would have been a 21-7 game. Now they have the ball, you know, around the 40. Even if they could get a field goal out of this, you know, that makes the game 21-10, and that's a lot more respectable headed into halftime.
Yeah, and Moeller gets the ball, you know, gets the second half kickoff. It's very difficult right now for the Comets. They're trying to make this comeback. It all really rides on these next 2 plays, as this is likely 4-down territory.
Double set formation, Braden Greer, Quinn Brown on the right. We'll see if Brown tries to connect with them. As Larson Brown drops back. He's feeling some pressure. He's going to have to take it himself. As he runs out of bounds, only able to pick up about 3 yards. So 4th and very long for Mason. And you've got to go for this. You're down by 3 scores.
Now Moeller can put a lot of guys out in the secondary. It's going to make it even harder for Larson Brown, who right there faced so much pressure. Several Comet offensive linemen were thrown onto the ground. These Moeller defensive linemen have been dominating all game.
It's a very chilly night here in Middletown, Ohio. 52 is what's clocked as the temperature on my phone.
That's not cold, Adam.
But
Come on.
With the breeze going right now, I mean, again, you talk about this Middletown flag we have right by us. I mean, it has just been, almost seems like it's going to fall off the pole.
Yeah, definitely a lot of wind. We are up pretty high, but being cold's a mentality.
Mason's going to call a timeout. They want to dial up the perfect play here. And that will be their final timeout of the first half. Again, with 59 seconds on the clock. Andrew, haven't seen that wheel route to Billhorn. We'll see if maybe they're going to try dial it up here.
Last time they tried it, it was on a 3rd and long, so similar to this situation. And it's a lot harder to do that when you have 5-6 guys in the secondary. So maybe not the best time to dial that one up. I think Braden Greer going across the field trying to find some space in the secondary. And Sean Krukenberg's coming out to punt. So that's what that timeout was for. Kastner rethinking his decision.
And maybe we'll see, Krukenberg hold on to the ball a bit, pull that Sean
Got a lot of
Krukenberg
room to
special
go,
team.
though.
Seems like Moeller has everybody in the box. Krukenberg boots this one away. And a nice punt there from Krukenberg. It'll be touchdown at the 4-yard line. So Moeller, if they want to try and drive down the field and score, only 50 seconds left in this first half, they have to go 96 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Still, I'm a little surprised that Mason opted to punt that. Not much to lose. You're already down by 3 scores, and Moeller, the way they've been playing, when they start the ball with half, they're probably going to get on the board.
Yeah, and pinning your opposing team, inside the 5-yard line is great, but only 50 seconds left, and you're down 3 scores. It just doesn't make a lot of sense when you're in opposing territory.
Bryant in motion, but this one's going to be a handoff to Kelly. Kelly finds a little hole. He's going to pick up 6 yards on the carry, so they'll have it at the 11 now.
And now the Comets just hoping that they don't give up a big play on these last 37 seconds as the clock continues to tick down, and just wanting to go into halftime content with a three-score deficit. I would like to see more aggression. There's been 2 times now where the Comets could have gone for it on 4th down and haven't.
And Moeller's just going to let this clock wind down. Still about a 5-second differential in the play and game clock. Double set for the Crusaders. And Dunn's going to drop back, feeling some pressure from the Comets. He's going to find his receiver, but he'll go out of bounds at the 29-yard line as the clock expires. So headed into halftime, the Comets, a big deficit as the Crusaders lead 21-0. Make sure you stay tuned for all the second half action here at Barnett Stadium in the OHSAA Regional Semifinals here on Mason Sports Radio. Welcome back to Barnett Stadium here in Middletown, Ohio for the OHSAA Regional Semifinals. Currently, the Comets trailing big to the Moeller Crusaders 21-0. And it's been all about the dominant Crusader offense. Started off the game with a huge touchdown run by Jordan Marshall. And ever since that, the Comets have not been able to keep up. Andrew, what do the Comets need to do, to kind of regain some momentum?
Well, last week, first play of the second half, Nick Saylor's returned an interception for a touchdown. A turnover would be very, very nice on this drive. As now the Crusaders already up 3 scores. They're going to start the half with the ball. They have a chance to really establish the tone for the rest of this game.
And the opening kickoff of the second half by Colson Bunch. It will be a touchback, so the Crusaders will start with the ball at the 20-yard line. We'll wait to see who the quarterback is. They've been changing it up all night. It's been a little bit of Luke Dunn and a little bit of Conlon Daniel. And it's going to be Conlon Daniel to start off here as Crusaders are in a trip set to the right, one receiver on the left. Kelly is the back. This one's going to be hand off to him. Find some breathing room. And it's going to be a 4-yard pickup.
And Kelly's been the feature back in the second quarter. Now looks like going to be in the third. And right there, just followed his lead blockers on the left side of the field, went out of bounds, was untouched. So right there, just doing his job, following his excellent offensive line.
And this is just showing off the Moeller depth here. I mean, you have one of the top running backs in the country in Jordan Marshall, and you've got your backup, Brett Kelly, and he's been running all over the Comets. Is this one? It's going to be a drop back from Daniel. Daniel heaves it down the field to Tanel Bryant and almost picked off from J.C. Deaton. That one was in his hands. So Moeller taking a shot early in the second half.
And they've been picking on J.C. Deaton all game. He gave up the touchdown early. He kind of was going to go for an interception, hesitated, and then gave up the touchdown. The next time they went downfield against him, he played it safe, got a pass breakup, and right there, plays it perfectly, plays aggressive, and nearly comes down with an interception.
11:47 left in the third quarter here. As the man in motion is Bryant for Moeller, but it's going to be a handoff to Kelly. Kelly is finding some breathing room, and he's going to charge forward for a first down. And again, Mason has not been able to contain this Moeller run game all night long. Kelly, there was some contact, near the line of scrimmage, but able to barrel forward for a 6-yard pickup.
And the Moeller offensive line has definitely been doing a great job giving space to their running backs, but you have to give credit to Marshall and Kelly, who've been bouncing off all sorts of Comet tackles. The Comets normally very secure tacklers, but today that's been a struggle.
3 receivers on the right, 1 on the left now for the Crusaders. Daniel's going to hand this one off to Kelly and immediately stopped. That's going to be Caden Davis and Jake Bates, 2 of those senior leaders on this Comet defense.
And Jake Bates having a terrific game, blocked a punt on special teams. He's had a couple tackles for losses. Adds to it right there. He was blitzing as an outside linebacker downhill, and he does his job.
Jake Bates, it's really been the only thing that's been able to get going here tonight. But a nice play there from Davis and Bates, as that's going to push Moeller back. 2nd and 13, 10:46 on the clock. Daniel takes a shotgun snap. He's looking towards the right side of the field. It's a fade downfield. And his tight end was wide open there, Jacob Gearhart, and he wasn't expecting it. And that could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, and he almost had a touchdown, or he did have a touchdown in the second quarter, but it got called back due to a penalty. And his next 2 targets have been drops. I think that play got in his head. But right there, the Comets did a good job of getting pressure. They've been doing a lot of creative things with their front 4 defensive linemen. They've been rotating them between the outside and inside spots, doing some stunt blitzes. Malachi Reed was coming through the gap on that play.
And Jesselbrack definitely looks the part, 6'5", 200, unable to pick it up there. Daniel, it's going to be a screen pass and a huge hit delivered. Kai Woolfolk. And play will stop. And what a hit from the junior linebacker.
And he just flattened Crusader ball carrier. Now 4th down. Really big play.
Comets Able to get off the end. The Moeller punt is going to be fumbled by the kicker, and he's going to be dropped back, and it'll be a turnover on downs for the Crusaders. And that's the second turnover off of punts from Moeller tonight.
Some punt struggles. The Comets take advantage there of the weak snap. A lot of momentum, very similar to the possession early in the second quarter, where they were lined set up in their own, or in the red zone. Quentin Kaler fumbled at the end of that drive, so the Comets weren't able to get points. But right now, a lot of momentum. That's as good of a start to the second half as they could have asked for.
10:22 now. That drive took about a minute and a half off the clock, but they're going to start with beautiful field position at the 18-yard line of the Crusaders, starting in the red zone. There's only 3 receivers set on the left, 1 on the right. Tay Hibbett's the back, and this one's going to be a handoff up the middle to Tay Hibbett. Hibbett trying to break free, but he's going to be thrown down after a 1-yard gain.
And Hibbett was met almost immediately, kept those legs moving, tried to bounce things outside, but ended up losing a yard. So a valiant effort on that run, but it amounts to nothing. And that's been the case for a lot of these running plays as the Crusader defensive line is just overpowering Mason.
9:53 now on the clock. 2nd and 9 now for Mason. Brown's going to take the shotgun snap. It'll be a handoff to Hibbett yet again. And again, Hibbett stopped immediately at the line. I think that's going to be a 1-yard loss. So it'll be 3rd and 11 now for the Mason at the 19-yard line. 2 straight runs, and they haven't really been able to get that run game going all night long.
No, and right there, it looked like he had a lead blocker, but the blocker stumbled, and from then on, the Crusaders came in like vultures, knocked down Hibbett. And now probably going to have to pass. They need to take advantage of this excellent field position they were given. They were gifted the ball in the red zone.
Moeller, they've got 6 in the secondary. It's Brown, drops back. That one's stripped away from Brown, recovered by the Crusaders. And the crowd is rolling here on the Moeller side of the field. It's going to be recovered from Peyton Whip.
And now 2 times the Comets have gotten the ball near their red zone thanks to some special teams turnovers, and 2 times they've ended in a fumble. Right there, Brandon Martin came barreling off the edge, hit Larson Brown, forced the fumble, and the Comets aren't able to fall on it. They come up with no points.
So their 2nd red zone appearance results in a turnover. And just as it seems they were maybe going to inch back into this game, all taken away. 8:56 on the clock here in this 3rd quarter. Wide set for Moeller. Daniels, the quarterback. This one going to be a handoff to Kelly. Kelly finding some breathing room. He's going to pick up 11 yards on the carry. That'll be enough for a 1st down.
Again, just following his blockers. Picks up a relatively easy 1st down. Only had to make 1 jump cut there. And the Crusaders now just put on cruise control.
This one going to be a screen pass to Tanel Bryant. Bryant will go out of bounds. Just a 1-yard gain.
Bryant's a threat to take any play to the house, so right there the Comets able to contain him. Moeller's been trying to set up those screens to become big plays a lot, and they haven't had much success. And right now, just deflated energy from the Comets. They had so much momentum, and that fumble really ruined things.
Daniel in the shotgun. 3 receivers in the game. This one's going to be another handoff to Kelly, but Jake Bates gets him from behind. Only a 1-yard pickup.
Jake Bates not giving up. Again, makes a great play right there. Tackles the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage, sets up 3rd and long. He's trying to get his offense back out on the field. Jake Bates, he kind of takes the goldfish mentality. He doesn't think about what the plays before. He just goes in fresh mindset every play, and he's had a lot of success tonight.
2 receivers on the right, 1 on the left now. 3rd and 10 for Moeller. This one, a fake handoff. But it's going to be a play-action pass, but knocked away from Sean Krugerberg. Daniel was trying to find his tight end there, but a great defensive play from the senior safety.
Yeah, Krugenberg, they've been attacking him a lot today, but right there comes up with a big pass breakup, and it's another drop for the tight end, Ben Gruber.
And that one, I'd say less of a drop than the other. Sean Krugerberg did a nice job putting his helmet into the ball and knocking that one away. But it's going to force Moeller to punt. That one almost blocked from Kai Woolfolk, but a very short punt. Takes a nice Moeller bounce and it'll roll all the way to the 17-yard line. So Mason is going to have about 83 yards to work with.
The Comets, after last drive, the strip sack that ended a promising one, they have to come in here and not think about what's happened prior to this game. They have to get things going. They'd been establishing some consistency on offense in the second quarter. They lost yards on the last drive. So now it's a whole new ball game for them.
Brown's in the shotgun. Colin Billhorn is in motion. 7:51 on the clock as Brown drops back. And he's going to be taken down again. That's going to be the defensive end, Peyton Wilp. Had that fumble recovery last possession. He's going to take down Brown there.
And Larson Brown was looking for Colin Billhorn. It's a play we've been calling for. Billhorn had a wheel route going down the sideline. He looked like he was going to be open, but Larson Brown, no time to throw, gets blindsided. Another sack. That was how he fumbled on the last drive. It was a strip sack. Really nothing he could do in that situation. And just frustrating.
That going to go down as a 7-yard sack. Officials, a little bit of confusion on the field. This clock will stop and will now resume. Double set formation, 2nd and 16. Sailors is the back. Brown drops back, feeling some heat. He's going to heave it downfield for Jack Ryder. It will be incomplete.
And Ryder was sparring right there with Cap Davis, the DB. Definitely some contact, but Larson Brown, a little bit of an overthrow there. I think you could argue for some pass interference, but
that one almost looked uncatchable.
Yeah, well,
throwing a little bit too inside.
I think Davis got to Ryder pretty early, was physical, and kind of took him out of the play. So
3rd and a long 16 now for Mason. Only 2 receivers in for the Comets. Braden Greer in motion. Brown drops back. It's going to be a screen pass to Quentin Kaler, but Quentin Kaler tripped up. He's going to fall down as Brown just ended up throwing that one to the ground because Quentin Kaler was laying flat down.
So the Comets in both their possessions so far in this third quarter, negative yardage, nothing going right for them offensively right now. This Moeller pass rush is dominating.
Krugerberg back into his own end zone now for this punt. As he boots that one away. Takes a nice friendly Mason bounce. It'll be touchdown at exactly the 50-yard line. So Moeller starting their drive with very good field position. They weren't able to score in the second quarter. But again, put up 21 points right away in the first as they hope to extend their lead here.
We haven't seen Jordan Marshall since the first quarter. He scored their first touchdown, then he set up the next 2 with some long runs.
And his helmet is actually off on the sideline.
He's done. It looks like he's done. I don't believe he was injured.
No, he's showing a blast on the sideline.
A lot of confidence to take out their star running back. Maybe you could even call that confidence maybe leaning into arrogance, but because their offense has not had success since he was out of the field, since he came out of the game.
This one gonna be a handoff to Kelly. Met in the backfield. The first one there was Bryce Falk.
And Bryce Falk coming off the line, beat his man, got straight to the ball carrier. So the Comet defense has been playing well on these last few drives, but the Moeller, so the first half was the Moeller offense that the Comets couldn't stop, and now here in the second half, the Moeller defense just stifling any opportunities.
2nd and 11. They're going to mark that as a 1-yard loss. This one, another handoff to Kelly up the middle this time. But again, nice stop from the Mason defense. They're going to limit him to just a yard. So now Bryant was in motion there.
The Comets gave up 0 room after contact right there. They're showing a lot of fight here in the second half. Definitely, they've been on the field a lot, but definitely not looking tired. And now 3rd and long. Again, can get their offense the ball.
I think we might see a long throw to Tennell Bryant here. He's one-on-one with Nick Sailors. Sailors not used to playing in that one-on-one coverage, more of a strong safety outside backer. But Daniel, it's going to be a read option to Kelly. As Kelly finds a lot of open room, he's going to be hit at the 38 and eventually dropped down at the 36 by Sean Krugerberg. But that's going to be enough for a first down.
And Moeller had 3 receivers on the right on that play, and then the read option, they go to the left where there's not many Comet defenders, so they play the numbers game right there, set up a nice first down. Some chess from the Crusader offense.
Daniel's in the shotgun, Kelly's the back. Daniel drops back, looking towards the middle of the field, and that one almost picked off by the Comets, in and out of the hands of the slot receiver, Ryan Meckley.
Yeah, Krukenberg nearly picked that one off, was a little late to react. The way that ball bounced off the receiver, probably not what he expected, as it went straight into the air. Krukenberg dove for it, couldn't get there in time. But
2nd and 10 now for Moeller. They're inside of Mason territory at the 41. 4:48 left in the third quarter.
false
Man
start.
in motion for Moeller. They're going to call a false start. I believe that's going to be on the tight end, Ben Gruber.
And the penalty is announced as offsides, but the Moeller guys walk backwards, so it is a false start. They had a man in motion, and they had too many guys jump at once. Just to beat the snap a little bit.
Officials coming together after that call.
We've seen quite a bit of confusion between this officiating crew tonight. Several calls where they haven't been on the same page.
They're looking at the scoreboards, so maybe a clock issue.
Yeah, on a defensive penalty like that, the clock should resume. Or on an offensive penalty like that.
And they're going to add about 24 seconds to the clock.
So, clock never stopped. What that meant when they called the penalty. So, we're going to await the play clock to be reset. And now it's back. 4:48 left in this third quarter.
Even more confusion. So we're still waiting for that clock to be changed.
The Comet defense upset. They want the clock moving. Moeller just standing around both coaches, trying to communicate with their guys, with the referees.
I think the official wants it at 4:38.
And there it is. Official gives a thumbs up now. So they put too much time back on the clock. I'm not sure which team was more upset about that due to the nature of how things are going.
2nd and long, and for Moeller, they have it at the 41 now. Daniel in the shotgun. This one going to be a handoff to Kelly. Kelly on the outside zone. He's going to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, so we're going to get back to the original line of scrimmage now, 3rd and 10. And these are the scenarios where the Comets have had some struggles. The first two of the 3 touchdowns for Moeller have come on 3rd down plays. A lot of big gains. The first down last time came on a 3rd and long.
I really like that play design on the last call.
Absolutely.
From Moeller, we talked about Kelly's more of their power back, but he's able to get vertical on those outside zones, and that just adds another depth to this Crusader run game. 4 receiver set, doubles for Moeller. As Daniel drops back, looking towards the left side of the field. His tight end, he's going to find him wide open. Shaken free of some Mason defenders, pushed out of bounds at the 14-yard line by J.C. Deaton. That reception, Tyler Jesselbrat.
Yeah, and just right there. Had a lot of space. The Comets playing this soft zone. They've been doing it on 3rd downs, and Moeller picking it apart.
Hurry up offense. They're going to snap it. It's going to be a screen pass to Tennell Bryant. Met by a lot of Comet defenders at the line, but he's able to minimize that loss to just 1.
Yeah, the Comets, especially a lot of Comets got in the backfield right away. Sean Krukenberg came downhill. from the secondary, but Tanell Bryant was able to use his agility to only lose 1 yard on that play. That could have been a big loss.
3:29 on the clock here in this third quarter. Moeller still holds the 21-point lead over Mason. It's Comets scoreless throughout the entire game. Moeller now in the red zone, though, at the 19-yard line, 2nd and 11. This one going to be handed off to Kelly. Kelly getting vertical, lays his shoulder down, and is going to pick up about 4 yards on the carry.
And now sets up another third down. And we said it, on these third down conversions, Moeller's been really effective. And now the Comet defense is starting to feel a little bit of the tiredness. They've been on the field a lot. Moeller dominating time of possession. They've been running the ball down Mason's throats. Starting to take a toll.
Again, another one-on-one, Tanell Bryant and Nick Salis here. Let's see if the Crusaders look to exploit this. 2:31 on the clock, but this one going to be a handoff. Flags in the backfield are being thrown, an obvious hold. And Isaac Shade picked up 12 yards on the carry, but that one's obviously gone back with the hold.
That touchdown is going to be negated thanks to the holding penalty. Moeller fans and sideline are upset about that one. Not sure why. It was a fairly obvious hold. So it's going to set up a third and even longer.
But hey, you know, the way we've seen the kicking from Devin Orr tonight.
Oh, this is definitely
in his range. I mean,
we
he
haven't
has
seen
been
him take
putting on a show.
Yeah, it's hard to say putting on a show when you've kicked extra points, but he's been booting those things with a lot of power. I'd like to see him test out his leg with a field goal.
Not only see the kick on the football team, he's the goalie on the soccer team.
Yeah.
So a little surprising there. You don't normally see goalies playing football. Daniel shakes free of some Mason defenders, and that one batted away at the line of scrimmage.
Bryce Falk.
That's going to be an incomplete pass. Few injured players down on the field. It's going to be Caden Davis. He's able to hobble off on his own, though. But scary for Moeller. You know, their quarterback, Conlon Daniel, is down on the field.
Yeah. And Caden Davis and Jake Bates both got in the backfield, put a lot of pressure on Daniel. And Daniel was able to throw it off, batted down by the Comets. And now Daniel gets up. Was just stretching his leg out. He did take a bit of a hard hit to the turf. Caden Davis did too, diving, trying to get the sack. But both the guys able to walk off the field under their own power.
But not to fret. You know, we talk about Moeller kind of as a joke, as a Cincinnati All-Star team. They've got a lot of depth. And, you know, their normal starting quarterback, Luke Dunn, he'll likely just check in for the Crusaders. Ball placed at the 23-yard line, 4th down and 20. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left in the third quarter.
And Moeller's got 10 guys on the field right now. There's no one at quarterback. Now an offensive lineman checking in.
And they're lined up to kick a field goal.
Excuse me. And now trying to make some. They only had 9 players on the field. A lot of frustration from Coach Elder.
Devin Orr boots that one up. Let's see if it has enough leg. And it does. What a kick from Devin Orr.
That's a 40-yard field goal. Showing off his leg right there. A lot of wind tonight. The flag, we're right by a flag. It's been waving like crazy. So an impressive kick. And just extends this lead now. Still 3 scores if the Comets were able to get some touchdowns and 2-point conversions, but definitely makes a comeback even more difficult. Now only 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this game. At this point, the Comets just trying to get on the scoreboard, get something going.
You know, we talked about it. Comets really have only had like 2 opportunities to score. They were in the red zone twice. First time, Quentin Kaler fumble. That gave possession to Moeller. Then the next time, that strip sack on Larson Brown. Even if they wouldn't have scored, even if they didn't score, you know, a field goal would have been nice to at least get some points on the board, make this game look a little bit more respectable.
When you've had the ball deep in Moeller territory twice and you've got an egg on the scoreboard, it's very frustrating, you know, for your offense. And that's just been a testament to how well this Moeller D-line has played. forcing fumbles on both those plays.
2 minutes and 10 seconds left in this third quarter as this kickoff's booted away from Orr. Returned by Krugerberg at the 1 yard line. He's trying to get upfield, dragged down from behind at the 24.
And Krugenberg had momentum. He was running downfield. All of a sudden, he just got halted. And as soon as Crusader hit him, was still able to pick up a few more yards that he would have got if he just let the ball fly over his head. For a touchback. Common offense right here. Just going to try to establish some sort of rhythm. I expect some short, quick passes. Nick Saylor's out on the field for early downs. We don't see
and
that.
Moeller late to get on the field. Mason, they've got to get a little bit of a hurry up there, catch Moeller off guard as Brown's rolling towards the right. A big shot downfield. He's trying to find Braden Greer, and it's in and out of the hands of Greer. He drops it. What a throw from Larson Brown. He was standing at his own 20-yard line, heaves it all the way down to the Moeller 30.
That was a big-time throw, 50 air yards right there.
And now he got it over the over the heads
Greer
of the
was facing
Moeller defenders.
2 defenders on him. Larson Brown threw it over Greer right in his chest. That could have been a big-time play.
And Brown couldn't have thrown that ball any better. That was a D1 college level throw. But it'll just result as an incomplete pass. This one, handoff to Saylors, a little bit of hesitation, but dives forward for a few yards.
So, and now a flag thrown after the play. Some chirping going on between the two lines. We'll see what the official ruling is. Bryce Falk is heated. Although Moeller's sideline seems a little more upset. Yeah, and it's a personal foul on the defense. Moeller's walking back.
Moeller fans not happy about that one, so that's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
And new set of downs.
New set of downs for the Comets. They called that one on Ben Tinnemeyer.
Yeah, and those are the plays that are unexcusable, especially you're up 24-0, and after a play, you have some unsportsmanlike conduct.
Greer's in motion now. 1:38 left in the third quarter. Brown rolling towards the right. Sidearms that throw just above the hands of Braden Greer. Tried to channel his inner Patrick Mahomes there, but couldn't quite deliver it to Greer.
And Larson Brown been trying to find Greer tonight, and they have yet to connect for a reception. Brown, I think, frustrated about that one. Just put it a little too high.
Not getting a lot of protection from his offensive line either. He's been having to roll out to his right and left all game long, and that's still not giving him enough protection.
Yeah, and when he's had protection like that 50-yard bomb he threw, we've seen what he's capable of, but not a lot of that tonight against this Moeller defense.
Nick Saylor's now the back. 2nd and 10 for the Comets at the 42-yard line. This one going to be a handoff to Saylors. Saylors pushing forward.
He maybe gets a yard.
A minute 17 now. The clock continues to wind down as we near the end of the third quarter. Comets trying to get some points on the board. Still yet to get into Moeller territory on this drive. We're at the 42. 3rd and 9 for Brown and the Comets offense. It's Brown. Play action. Rolling towards the right. Heaves it down. Finds his brother Quinn Brown. And that's going to be enough for a first down there inside of Crusader territory at the 43-yard line. The Comets trying to run some hurry up. 48 seconds left in this third quarter. Brown getting the signal from the sideline.
And there's the momentum they've been looking for. Larson Brown rolls out right, finds his brother, makes a quick read, and picks up a big-time first down. So in Moeller territory again. Larson Brown playing well this drive.
Trip set on the left for the Comets. Brown in the shotgun, 25 seconds left in the third. Brown immediately felt pressure, but that one going to be a complete pass to Zach and Leah. I mean, Brown didn't even have a second to throw that pass, and he just kind of heaves it up. Luckily,
really
a Moeller defender tripped that probably would have been an interception if the Moeller defender hadn't tripped.
I can't believe that Larson Brown attempted to throw the ball, and I can't believe he got the throw off. Both of those really impressive, dangerous throw.
Mason
and Zach Adlita comes down with it. Zach Adlita's having a good game. He's had a couple catches for some first downs.
This Mason offensive line has been struggling tonight. Again, we talked about it. Moeller's just been loading the box and letting those athletes in their secondary do their thing, and it's proven successful. As the clock winds down here in this third quarter, the Moeller Crusaders leading the Mason Comets 24-0. But the Comets, they're inside of Moeller territory, hoping to get a score on the board before the end of the game. We'll be back for all the fourth quarter action here on Mason Sports Radio. And we're back here at Middletown for the regional semifinals of the OHSAA football playoffs. Comets trailing the Moeller Crusaders 24-0. Right now, very odd. Moeller calls a timeout to start off the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I guess Coach Elder didn't get in exactly what he wanted before it, and he's kind of laying into his players right now. They have not been disciplined. Their linebacker right now just counting the guys in the huddle. They've had just some silly mistakes in this second half so far. Before a field goal, they only had 9 players on the field, nearly didn't get the kickoff in time. Unsportsmanlike penalties, just several plays where they've just not been playing clean football. And it's helped set up Mason, who's right now having their best offensive drive at the 25-yard line.
First and 10 for the Comets. They have the ball at the Moeller 25-yard line. Trips to the right, one receiver to the left. Brown feeling some heat, and he's going to be absolutely bombarded in the backfield.
That's Carson Hobbs, the Notre Dame commit, flying in from the secondary. And he doesn't play. What's shocking about it is he's committed to Notre Dame to play DB, and he does not play a ton for Moeller. He often comes in on these third downs playing in the nickel, and right there blitzes on first down, gets a major sack. 10-yard loss.
And when you look at him on the field, doesn't necessarily look like a player that's committed to one of the most storied and historic programs in the country. But man, when you see him flying off the edge, that tells you differently.
A lot of upside with Hobbs, only a junior.
This one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Find some breathing room. It's going to be at least a 10-yard pickup, and he'll be pushed out of bounds.
That might be the best run of the night for the Comets.
And a flag thrown late. Some extracurriculars, and I believe this is going to be on Moeller again.
Yeah, Moeller already moving backwards.
Going crazy. And Coach Elder losing his mind on the sideline on his Crusader team. And they have a 24-point lead, but still can't stay disciplined.
There's been a crazy lack of discipline in this game from Moeller. They've racked up a lot of penalty yardage, and they got lucky. They got out to a 3-score start really early, because if you do this next week against Lakota West or Elder, and we're going to try to get a score update for you as soon as we can, and it's a closer game, that could be pivotal.
So this was 51 minutes ago, but Lakota West at halftime beating Elder 13-3. So 10-point game.
And keep in mind the Comets lost to Lakota West earlier in the season. They played them tight, really tight in the first half. Then things kind of got out of hand in the second half. It's been the opposite today. Comets got down big early, and then this second half they've played really well, especially on defense, and they should have some scores. They've had 2 turnovers in the red zone, and now another.
And now, Coach Elder, we thought at first he was getting heated at his Crusader players, but now he's kind of in the ears of the officials. Did not like that call.
A lot of penalties on his team. But most of them have been these personal foul calls that are avoidable. They're discipline things. And I don't know if Moeller's trying to rotate in some of their younger guys, keep their main starters fresh as they get late into the playoffs or what. But
both coaches are kind of going after each other on opposite sides of the secondary. Coach Kastner kind of telling, hey, Elder needs to get off the field. He's in we're trying to get a play going, and Coach Elder of Moeller's on the field, chirping at the refs.
Yeah, they can't get the play going if the referees are busy talking to the coach. Kastner's not happy about it.
And I understand that from Kastner's frustration there.
They're trying to pull off a comeback.
Least a sideline warning.
Yeah.
Because Comets, Moeller was kind of late onto the field. They might have been able to catch them off guard.
And late on the field, Moeller's been late on the field a lot. Like you said, just these things, these little tiny discipline issues that really rack up, and in a closer game,
it would be
really detrimental, really costly. That's what happened to Princeton. As the Comets had a tight game with them, Princeton was turning the ball over. They weren't lining up correctly, and the Comets were able to expose that.
So now, finally, after that very long delay, 11:06 left in the game. Mason has it at the 7-yard line. This one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Swarmed in the backfield, and that's going to be a 4-yard loss.
And Nick Sailors immediately, he gets the ball and boom, he's hit by like 3 Moeller defenders. It seems every time he's running the ball, he doesn't have any space. This Moeller defensive line has been absolutely dominant all night long. 10:40 left in the game. And they're stacking the box because they know that their secondary is talented enough to go one-on-one with the Comets.
Two receivers set for the Comets. Nick Sailors is the back. Brown's under center, something we haven't seen very often tonight. This one, play action pass. But Larson Brown feeling the pressure, and it's going to be another sack from the Crusaders. That time, coming off the edge, it was Tommy Steins, the safety.
And the Comets had 2 extra blockers put in on that play. It did not matter. Larson Brown still hit really quickly, did not have enough time to throw. He only had 2 receivers out wide. He had Sailors in the backfield. And the Comets' offensive line still could not hold up in pass protection.
And this Mason offensive line has been so up and down this year. Tonight, one of their weakest performances, if not definitely their weakest performance, as Mason started off 1st and goal at the 7-yard line, now pushed all the way back to 3rd and 20 goal. 3rd and goal, you got to put that in quotation marks, as they're having it at the 23-yard line. 9:32 left is Brown. We're going to take a shot downfield. He does, trying to find Quentin Kaler, and that ball's going to be intercepted. Returned by Moeller. Finding some breathing room. Cutting past the 30-yard line. And Moeller. That ball picked off by Conlon. Daniel, he's playing both sides. Not only the quarterback, but playing the secondary, and comes up with a big pick there.
And the Comets now 3 red zone appearances, 3 turnovers. If they score, this is a very different game, 24-21. Just not finishing, and that's really just been the difference today. Moeller, when they've been in scoring position, they've got it done.
And think about it, Andrew, those 3 times Mason's been in the red zone, if you take those turnovers and turn them into touchdown, the game's 24-21.
Yeah. And Moeller scored off of some of those turnovers, so just crazy to think about.
That one going to be a handoff. Stuffed immediately at the line by the Comets. It's actually going to be a 2-yard loss. Kelly not able to get much going.
And Kai Wolflook made a nice play there. Going downhill, beating Kelly in the backfield. This Comet defense has played phenomenally in the second half. First half, they had some struggles with the big plays. They've contained those so far, and not having Marshall on the field has helped with that, certainly. But they've been playing with a lot of fire.
Moeller taking their sweet old time. 8:43 left in the game. Trips to the left, man in motion. That's Terrell Bryant. Daniel looks to find Bryant. He misses his read, but that's going to be a sack from the Comets. And it was obvious, really only had 1 or 2 reads there. Eventually going to be brought down from Caden Davis.
And so Luke Dunn back on the field. And right there, just gets sacked in. Ran straight into Caden Davis. That's almost a coverage sack. The Comets did a nice job limiting his options in the receiving game. 3rd and long. They're going to set their offense up in another good situation. Unfortunately, the offense has not been able to convert on any of their opportunities.
3rd and 14 now, just under 8 minutes left on the clock. Moeller looking to kind of chew some clock. Kelly's going to get the handoff, but there's a flag on the play. It's going to be a false start on Moeller. And, you know, we had the call together, you know, in week 10 against Princeton. And the whole time we're like, man, we really want to see the stat sheet and see how many penalties and the yardage that Princeton had. And I could say the same thing
I think
tonight.
Moeller's coming close to that. Princeton had like 170 penalty yards in that game, and that was more just volume. Here, Moeller's having costly penalties. They've had several personal fouls, a lot of holding calls, so they've definitely racked up a ton of penalty yardage today.
It's going to push him back even further. 3rd and 19 now. As Dunn drops back, has a lot of time, throws it towards the right side of the field, but that one just overthrown. He was trying to find Ryan Meckley there.
Yeah, and Zach Rogers in coverage right there. Did a good job shadowing his man and then taking him out of the play as he got to the ball. So now Comet's offense going to get the ball again. 7 minutes, 26 seconds left. It's hard not to think about how different this game is. Even if they just get one of those red zone possessions back, turn it into a touchdown.
And a very weak punt. That came off his foot weird. That one going to be scooped up by Krugerberg at the 45. He takes a big hit. And we drop down at the 41. Krugerberg slow to get up after that one.
Yeah, I know. A gutsy play right there. He sees the ball rolling, tries to get his offense the best field position possible, and he got punished for it. Took a big hit.
We love to see that heart and that energy here.
You know, but
likely to be
his last game.
His last game at a Comet jersey.
Just committed to play collegiate baseball though, so his
Ashland
Mason athletic
University,
career is not over.
The second Comet in the class of 2023 to play collegiate athletics at Ashland University. Carly Prowse of the women's basketball team. Trips to the right. One receiver on the left for Mason. Brown drops back. Has some time for one of the first times tonight. And he delivers a strike to Chase Blevins. And Blevins just bobbled the ball. I mean, he was wide open. Had a 30-yard gain there. Brown couldn't have delivered a strike any better than that. And that would put Mason at the 11-yard line, but he bobbles it and drops it.
Blevins really frustrated with himself after that play. And you could honestly, that could have been a fumble, but he never had possession. Blevins took about 4 strides with the ball right there, but he got focused on trying to get into the end zone before coming down with the ball.
And, you know, we talk about the velocity on Larson Brown's arm a lot, and as much of a positive as it is, sometimes when you have some younger receivers, you know, like Blevins and Colin Billhorn, they're not used to catching balls that are going that fast. I mean, when Brown just throws an absolute missile down the field, it's a hard one to take in for Blevins. There was an injured Crusader member of the secondary injured on that play. It was Mitch McNutley, but he was able to walk off the field on his own power. So 2nd and 10 now for the Comets. They have it at the 41, 7:07 left in the game. Comets really now just trying to make this game look respectable on the scoreboard. Blevins in motion. Brown takes the snap. It's going to be a catch by Blevins, complete for about 6 yards.
And there's the quick passing game that we haven't seen from the Comets a lot. He finds Blevins, so right there. Gets some confidence back for Blevins after the drop. Sets up a third manageable, obvious 4-down territory here. You know, season on the line. There's no reason to punt it away.
3rd and 4. That pass took Blevins out of bounds. It'll stop the clock at 7:03. But again, yeah, he said 3rd down for Mason. 3rd and relatively short, but 4-down territory really opens up the playbook a little bit more. Trips to the right for Mason. Nick Sailors is the back. It'll be a handoff to him. He finds some space on the outside, but he needs to get vertical. He does. A nice spin move from Sailors. That's going to be enough to pick up the first down. 6 yards on the carry. But, man, he really worked that for what kind of looked like a 10-yard carry.
Yeah, and that play it looked like it was supposed to be designed as inside zone, and the Moeller defense had something to say about that. So Sailors able to bounce it outside and broke multiple Crusader tackle attempts, picked up the first down. That's a hard-fought run and a hard-fought first down there from Sailors. He's keeping his offense alive.
First and 10 now for the Comets. 6:42 on the clock. It continues to run down in this fourth quarter. It's going to be another handoff to Sailors. Sailors breaks free of one Crusader defender. He's going to be knocked out of bounds after a 5-yard gain.
So the Comet run game starting to get going here late in the fourth quarter. You have to imagine that a lot of that's due to Moeller's defense starting to gas out a little bit, but Sailors showing a lot of promise on the ground. Even if he's not getting a ton of help from his blocks.
Ball at the Moeller 18-yard line.
Ball's at the Moeller 23-yard line. 2nd and 5 now. Brown under center. This one going to be a handoff to Sailors. Sailors, a nice run, charging forward all the way to the 16-yard line. That's enough for a first down, 7-yard pickup. And we've really seen Nick Sailors start to pick up his run game, in this fourth quarter, but it's probably going to be proven to be too late.
And this is something we're seeing. It's been a pattern all season long. Nick Sailors doesn't play a lot in the first half as the defense is trying to use him and keep him fresh. And then as we get later into the game, he starts running the ball. And when he gets going, he's been unstoppable at times. He had the massive 4-touchdown game against Sycamore. So
again, Brown under center. This one going to be another handoff to Sailors, but Sailors tripped up.
Still not a bad run.
Still going to fall forward for about 4 yards.
Their offense is starting to gash Moeller, which has been the opposite of how this game has gone. Almost all of the Comets' yardage has come on chunk plays, but right now, Nick Sailors just running it down the belly of the Moeller defense.
Again, Brown under center, 5:28 left in the game. Sailors is the back. Clock continues to wind down. This one, fake handoff to Sailors. Play action pass. Brown trying to find his brother Quinn, but that one incomplete. Nice coverage from the Crusaders.
Yeah, and right there, Larson Brown was facing pressure. He was trying to find Quinn Brown, who actually was open in the end zone earlier in the play, but Larson Brown was facing too much pressure to get the ball off. Extended that play, but could not convert. We've got a little bit of a scoreboard update for you from the other game in this region. Lakota West up 20-10 against Elder, that game being played at Princeton. So the winner of that game will play the winner of this game, which is looking to be Moeller. So Moeller West, the top 2 seeds, looking like the likely matchup.
Double set for Masons, what they started the game off with. It looks like that's how they're going to finish. A fade down the field to Braden Greer, and what an unbelievable catch from Braden Greer. A flag is thrown for pass interference, but that's not going to stop the junior as he high points that ball in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, and that right there belongs on who got mossed. Braden Greer, a basketball player, went up for the rebounds against the cornerback and won. Just mossed the defender, pick up the first down, and he was draped in coverage. Pass interference did not matter. Great throw from Larson Brown. Great catch from Greer. Now the offense staying out on the field, trying to get a 2-point conversion. And I will say, maybe a little bit of hope. Maybe a little bit of hope. Last week, 5 minutes left. The Comets did not have the ball. They were down 2 touchdowns.
And if the Comets are able to convert on 2-point here, then somehow manage to pull off another miracle like last week, and then
5 minutes, 2 touchdowns. They've done it before.
Conversions for those as well. They could tie this game up at 24. They've done it before, so can't count them out.
I'm just saying, there's a chance. There's a chance.
5:05 on the clock. The Comets lined up for a 2-point play. It's going to be a wildcat formation for Kaler. This one going to be a pass. He's going to hand it off to Larson Brown, who will then chuck it to the wide open Braden Greer in the end zone. So a very confusing play there, but I love the draw up there from the Comets offense.
And I have to imagine our dad, the offense coordinator, has been waiting to get that 2-point conversion play. Definitely a little later in the game than he would have liked to have used it, but now they got to prepare for special teams, likely an onside kick. The defense has been holding strong. And the Comets right now fighting for their life. But good to see them get on the scoreboard. Really successful drive right there. Nick Sailors paved the way, and then Braden Greer with the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
And yeah, you just got to worry about the clock if you're Mason. 5 minutes, 5 seconds on the clock.
All 3 timeouts, though.
Only two timeouts. Only 2 timeouts. And, the way Kelly's been running the ball, it's going to be hard to stop. Definitely doable here at Barnett Stadium.
So now Colson Bunch out to kick off, and he's been working on his onside kick all season long. Now he's going to get to try it out. Well, we'll see if they opt for the onside kick here. Could definitely kick it off and lean on your defense, but
and again, remember that pass interference penalty. They're going to elect to take it on the field goal or on the kickoff attempts. So Mason's actually kicking inside
Moeller territory
at the 45.
Yeah. So an onside kick won't be as costly towards field position if they don't get it.
It looks like Colson Bunch will line up for an onside kick. Smart call. Not much
Nothing
to lose.
Nothing to lose. If Moeller converts, the game's over anyways.
5:05 on the clock. Colson Bunch lined up for an onside kick. And it looks like Mason's going to fall on top of it. So a very weird onside kick. It almost looks like Bunch was kicking it to himself. He's going to take a big hit, but he takes one for the team, and Mason's going to fall on top of it. And Andrew, are we going to have a repeat from last week?
No, I've been saying it, like Dumb and Dumber says, are you saying there's a chance? I am saying there's a slim little chance here. At the 37-yard line, Larson Brown, he could get a touchdown in one play right here. We've seen his arm. That pass interference penalty really comes to be critical right here. As the Comets have great field position, and again, I'm going to talk about those penalties. Moeller in the second half has not been productive. They've only got a field goal. This game should have been on ice. They scored 21 points in the first quarter.
And they ended up benching their starters. We haven't seen Jordan Marshall since the first. A very cocky move and could come out costly now. As Brown drops back, heaves one downfield, trying to find Blevins, but overthrows him.
Yeah, and Larson Brown, definitely some jitters right now on what is likely, most likely the last few drives of his high school career, and he was facing a lot of pressure there and just rocketed that ball, hoping that Blevins could get there. A bit of an overthrow, but that's all right. Still just second down. And the Comets in a situation where they have nothing to lose, and that's kind of how they entered this game, as the underdog. A lot of people didn't expect them to be here. Moeller, one of the favorites to win state, and now the end of the game is reflecting that.
4:56 left in the game. Trips to the right. This one Brown's gonna take it himself. We haven't seen him do it much this year. Takes it for a 7-yard gain. Slides down.
And Larson Brown right there, that's going to make his brother Colin proud. Colin was the quarterback just a couple years ago, and he was actually bigger than Larson. I'd say Larson was faster and more athletic, but Colin loved to pull it on the read option, and he was so big he was hard to bring down. And right there, Larson channels it, picks up about 6 yards. Because of the slide, he doesn't get a very kind spot. It's going to be 3rd and 4. So I could see them running the ball here to try to pick up the first down. But things definitely getting excited now in the 4th quarter.
Brown takes a snap, going to hand off to Sailors. Sailors trying to bounce back. He's going to bet that's going to be enough for the first down. Bounces outside for a 5-yard pickup.
And a lot of energy on the Comets sideline right now. Sailors picks up the first down, so even if they can't pull off the miraculous comeback, still a lot of positives to be had right now.
And Coach Casser's frustrated. He wanted a late hit out of bounds there.
And there's that discipline factor for Moeller. I mean, I don't know if it was egregious enough to call a penalty, but there definitely was some contact. Sailors he almost went limp as soon as he stepped out of bounds. Maybe that was to his own detriment.
1st and 10 now for Mason. 3:54 on the clock. And that clock should not have been running, but it's going to be a screen pass to Braden Greer. He's going to pick up 7 yards on the carry. Clock continues to run. That clock should not have been running earlier as Sailors was pushed out of bounds.
And those are the types of things that the fans often don't notice, but, Coach, we have a coach in our household. That's the type of play that he's going to be upset about after the game. But now the Comets are walking backwards.
I believe they're going to call a hold on that screen pass.
It's a costly penalty right there. All the way back at the 35. And holding being a 10-yard penalty almost has never really felt right to me. That's a big penalty for a hold.
And they're not going to do anything about that clock, so about 30 seconds wasted. 3:40 on the clock. Brown drops back. Heaves one towards the middle of the field. He finds Greer. Greer takes a big hit at the 15, but that's enough for a first down. 3:33 on the clock. Comets, they're in the quick game now.
And right there, Larson Brown steps into his throw, even though he's facing pressure, finds Braden Greer, and he put so much heat on that ball. Braden Greer is his favorite target, so he handles the velocity better than anyone, and he even was bobbling that one.
Double set for Mason, 3:17 on the clock. Nick Sailors is the back to his left. Brown drops back, looking towards the middle of the field, and it's going to be another touchdown for Braden Greer. So 3:07 on the clock. Braden Greer with another touchdown. And where was this earlier? New life has sprung on the Mason sideline. It almost seemed like half of the Mason crowd had left. But 24-14 now, of course, this Mason offense is going to stay on the field. And if they can convert on this two-point conversion attempt, it's a one-score game, Andrew.
Yeah, this is crazy. Definitely not what we would have expected about 2 minutes ago. But the Comet offense is on a surge right now. Braden Greer is playing phenomenally.
Two-point attempt. Braden Greer's in motion. Nick Sailors is the back. Brown drops back, trying to find Greer. He got pushed down. There's a flag.
There it is.
And they threw it.
So,
and that was an obvious pass interference there.
Another chance, and they're going to be right at the 1 yard line. So I expect Larson Brown to run it up on this next play.
QB sneak. But again, you got the size differential from Moeller and Mason.
But I will say this: the Comet offensive line has been playing really well on this possession. They had a holding, but that was on a screen pass. So that's kind of a different situation. They've been holding up in pass protection. Larson Brown's had some time to throw. So Comet's now at the 1 yard line. And now you got to look back on the game. Those 3 red zone possessions that resulted in turnovers. If Mason had just one of those, the Comets, they would be lined up to take the lead right now. Yeah. And that's what's crazy, but I think all of that has to fall back on Moeller not performing well in the second half, not converting on their lead.
Brown's going to hand this one off to Sailors. Sailors pushes forward, and a 2-point conversion attempt is successful. So 24-16. It's a one-score game now.
And I want to see Jordan Marshall back on the field now. I think that Coach Elder really regretting his decision to bench Jordan Marshall after the first quarter. Are you kidding me? You know, that took a lot of confidence, and it hasn't paid off. The Comets have all the momentum right now. Their sideline going crazy. The Comet fans being rewarded for staying. And Moeller right now just looks dazed and confused on the sideline. They haven't been disciplined in the second half. The Comets are punishing them, and they still have 2 timeouts. Even if they don't get this onside kick, the Comets are still in the game. Comeback Comets, don't count them out. Last week, came back from down 2 scores. Now, down 3 scores. They're within 8 points of the Moeller Crusaders, the #1 team in Southwest Ohio.
And this Moeller, I'm going to call it arrogance.
Yeah,
benching.
There's no other way to put it.
Benching your players after the first quarter, now coming back to bite them. 3:07 on the clock. It's only a one-score game now. Comets line up for another onside kick attempt. We'll see if they're able to get it this time. And there's a flag thrown.
And usually on an onside kick, if there's a flag thrown, it's against the kicking team. That one went really high. Might not have had the yardage it needs for the Comets to return it. Yeah, so Moeller offense going to head out on the field. The way the Comet defense was playing, they're fresh. They haven't been on the field in quite a while, thanks to that onside kick conversion. So, definitely still in it. 3 minutes left.
And I'm a little confused, and so is Coach Kastner. I think that ball went 10 yards.
It was certainly close. I would say it got about 8 yards. It was almost there. It was such a high kick, it was hard to tell.
The official call was an illegal onside kick.
What?
I'm not really sure how you can do an illegal onside kick. Illegal pop-up kick.
Yeah, and interesting. And maybe that one got off the foot wrong from Colson Bunch.
Maybe it hit his foot twice or something, but.
And we're right by the Comets press box. They're very unhappy, to put it lightly.
Rightfully so, as I am just
I'm
very confused over that call.
Yeah,
I've never
that's
seen
something
that.
I don't think I've ever seen, and we've watched a lot of football in our lives.
I'm not really sure how. As long as the ball doesn't go out of bounds, any kickoff is valid.
So now they're redoing the kickoff. So the Comets still have another chance. They got pushed back 5 yards, which, in all honesty, not that big of a penalty.
And they might be redoing this because they actually blew the whistle dead before the ball even hit the ground. So I think this is a miscall by the officials. They're not having to redo the play.
Yeah, when I saw that kickoff, when it went up, I thought the officials maybe thought it went out of bounds, because if you kick it out of bounds on a kickoff, it's a penalty. But that ball it bounced in bounds. So officials, some confusion here. Colson Bunch is going to get another shot at an onside kick.
And I think this was a miscall on the officials, and they're having to redo it.
The Comets are kicking back 10 yards, so the penalty does come in.
They're pushing back 5 yards, not 10. But still, that gives them another opportunity.
Yeah, if you're the Comets, and you're okay with this.
Yeah.
As crazy as it sounds.
Got to get this ball at least 10 yards, and apparently not pop it up.
Yep.
But never heard that in my life, but we'll see how it goes. 3:05 on the clock. Colson Bunch, another onside kick.
And
he's going to boot that one deep.
And so, because we're so close to the coach's press box, some confusion from the guys up here. I think that was a call made down on the field. I don't know if Colson Bunch didn't like what he saw, or if Kastner made a last-minute decision to kick it off and trust his defense. But they have 2 timeouts.
But a very short kick.
Yeah.
He was lined up to do an onside and then booted
Certainly
it.
Interesting right there.
So Moeller's going to start possession at the 32, at their own 32-yard line. 3:03 on the clock. Mason defense has not allowed a touchdown since the first quarter. And we'll see what they're able to do. And
all the Comets need is just get 3 stops, which sounds easier than it is. It sounds simple, but they've done it on a lot of their past few drives. Bryce Falk, Caden Davis, Aaron Spears, the 3 seniors on the D-line, Jake Bates, who's had a phenomenal game, Sean Krukenberg, Weston Simmons, J.C. Deaton, Zach Rogers in the secondary. This is their last chance.
And again, some confusion with the officials. It's been a common theme tonight.
Moeller's had a lot of time when they're on offense
and
between
again,
plays.
The officials meeting together again.
And now both sides are booing. When you see both sides of the stands booing, it's not usually a good sign for the officials. So they're pointing at the play clock as time started to tick a little bit.
This game's already taken about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, this has been certainly a long game, but it's been worth it. The Comets made it worth it at the end of that. The comeback Comets.
And important to note, guess who's checked back onto the field for the Crusaders? Jordan Marshall.
And Mason has 3 timeouts. And Adam, we talked about it earlier. I said the Comets had 3 timeouts. You corrected me because we looked at the board. I didn't recall the Comets calling a timeout. They didn't. Mason has 3. That is incredible. Now they can give up a first down because there's 3 minutes left. They would have enough time to get the ball back. That's just a huge bonus for Mason. Still hasn't been fixed on the scoreboard, though.
This one going to be handoff to Jordan Marshall. Marshall plows forward, and that's the Jordan Marshall we're used to. Picks up 9 yards on his first carry since the first quarter.
And Jordan Marshall just proved it. If he'd been playing this entire game, we would not be in this situation. He got hit about 3 yards after the carry and fell forward 6 yards. He's an unbelievable athlete. And Moeller, I'll put it simply, stupidly took him off the field. Wait, at least give him 3 quarters. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen. Anything has happened.
Daniel is the quarterback, though, so we are expecting, Dunn to be the quarterback heading into this game, but Daniel's taking most of the reps. Marshall again, the back, 2nd and 1, 2:22 on the clock. This one going to be handoff to Marshall up the middle, and again, he's going to pick up 9 yards on the carry.
And now the Comets are going to start using their timeouts. 2 minutes and 17 seconds left. A new set of downs. They're going to need to get stops on these next 3 plays.
Coach Kastner elects let the clock keep rolling, though.
Clock just stopped after that first down, so
2:11 on the clock, continues to wind down. Another 24 on the play clock. Moeller likely to let this tick down all the way.
Yep, no reason not to. And this one definitely going into the hands of their star running back, Jordan Montgomery. And where has he been?
1st and 10 at midfield, 1:52 on the clock. This one, handoff to Marshall. That time he's going to be stopped. Only a two-yard pickup, and they're going to take that.
Yeah, Kai Woolfolk, Jake Bates, the linebackers right there, met Montgomery about a yard after he got it, and he stopped it. Got no push right there. And now the Comets will use their first timeout.
So they'll call their first timeout with 1:44 remaining in the game. And with that added timeout, they'll still have 2 left.
Well, not really an added time, Adam. No, not really. It's added timeout. They never used it, but
yeah.
Middletown never updated the scoreboard to put the third one back up. But the Comets now in a position to get the ball back. Easier said than done to stop Jordan Montgomery on 3 straight plays. But 2 yards. If they give up 2-yard gains each time, that's good enough. They're definitely going to stack the box here.
But we've seen run from Jordan Marshall, and maybe we'll see
maybe they try to get
Tanel Marshall back in this. He's lined up at the slot right now. Marshall's the back. 1:44 on the clock. But again, this is going to be another handoff to Marshall, and Marshall stuffed. Only a 1-yard pickup. So third, and they're actually going to give him a 2 yards. So 3rd and 6 now. Another timeout from Coach Castor. 1:38 on the clock. Mason, they've still got 1 left. So if they can contain the Crusaders here, that's going to force Moeller to likely punt unless they go with they are very, very risky and go for it on 4th.
Yeah, and when you have Jordan Marshall going for it on 4th down, it's not the worst option. However, if the Comets do get a stop here, they're going to have no timeouts. They're going to have to go down probably 80 yards. I mean, it likely would be touchback range from here. I think you bet on your defense that has played really well, except in these last few minutes.
Already an 8-point game, you would have to not only score, but then complete a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and I think a sneaky play here to watch is Tanel Bryant. Actually, Tanel Bryant is coming off the field. So you just took away your big touchdown threat.
So
I don't like. It's definitely going to
all signs showing it's going to Marshall here. 3rd and 6. 1:38 left in the game. This one going to be a sweep to Marshall on the outside. Marshall plows forward for a first down, and that will likely do it here from Barnett Stadium as Jordan Marshall picks up a first down for Moeller. Coach Castor calls his final timeout with 1:31 left in the game, but it will be a first down.
Yeah, and that right there is going to be the nail in the coffin for the Comet season. What a comeback they had tonight, though. That speaks volumes about the character of this team. They came down. They were down 24-0 midway through the 4th quarter, scored 2 straight touchdowns, got 2-point conversion, got an onside kick. This team has been history-making for the Comets, and what a valiant effort tonight.
This one going to be a handoff to Marshall. Nice stop there from Kai Woolfolk leading the charge, only a 2-yard pickup. And the clock will stop.
So there's the 3rd and final timeout.
I think they gave Thomas an extra timeout there. 2nd and 7 now. 59 seconds left in the game.
Take some more time to reflect on the season the Comets have had. First week, Gahanna Lincoln, who's been the top team in Columbus this year, so that loss not looking too bad. They only lost by 2 points.
And that was their game, and they kind of lost it. Weren't able to get the offense rolling. Defense played phenomenal, and that kind of carried on throughout the rest of the season. And the
got on a string of
Mason
wins,
defense.
string of wins, including first time in program history defeating Coleraine. The blemish came against Lakota West, their only GMC loss, but Lakota West is going to be moving on to face Coleraine next week, to face Moeller next week in the regional finals. And then 2 massive wins against Fairfield and Princeton to clinch the number 2 spot in the GMC. Beat Coleraine in round 1 of the playoffs. The miracle comeback last week against Springboro. First time in school history, Mason's won 2 playoff games.
And now Dunn lines up in victory formation, takes his first knee, and the clock now tipping down past 43 seconds. All he needs, 1 more knee.
Yeah, and the Comets season is over, but a lot to be proud of, not just over in this game, but in this season. They're going to lose a lot of key pieces on defense. Jake Bates, Bryce Falk, Aaron Spears, Caden Davis.
Weston
West Simmons, Sean Krukenberg. We'll try to say all their names. They're all going to be dearly missed. Larson Brown, the quarterback. What a game he had. He will be missed. Historic season from the Comets will come to an end. The Moeller Crusaders take that final knee.
That'll wrap it up here from Middletown, Ohio. The regional semifinals. Mason falls to the Moeller Crusaders 24-16. And again, this is not going to discredit the season that the Mason Comets have had. We'll go down as one of the best seasons, if not the best season in program history. They won 2 playoff games for the first time. Coach Kastner definitely wasn't their most talented team, you could say, but they had the most heart. They were the most unified. And there's some Coach Kastner and Coach Elder having to be held back.
And some Moeller players were doing what I would consider taunting at the end of the tunnel. So unfortunate that this game is going to have to end with some theatrics. Bittersweet end of the season for the Comets. Moeller going to move on next week to face Lakota West, the 1 and 2 seed, going to battle it for the regional final. And that'll do it from us. Thank you for listening all season long. This is going to wrap up our fall sports season for the Comets. Terrific fall sports season. Girls tennis state championship, boys and girls cross country state championships, plenty of other great results. So thank you for listening.
And again,
have a great night.
Adam Little joined alongside my partner for this broadcast, Andrew Little. We've had a great crew tonight. Braden Johansson behind the scenes, Alyssa Feinblatt working Twitter. And it's been such a ride here in Comet Country with this football team. And we've been proud to be along with it. Final here from Barnett's Stadium, 24-16. The Mason Comets fall in the regional semifinals.